We saw in previous videos that if we have two linear maps L1 and L2 from V to W, then we can determine the matrix representation of L1 plus L2 completely in terms of matrix representations of L1 and L2. More precisely, matrix representation of L1 plus L2 is equal to matrix representation of L1 plus the matrix representation of L2. Similarly, we also saw that the matrix representation of C times L1 is equal to C times the matrix representation of L1. These are two ways in which we could construct linear maps from what we know already. In addition to this, you are also familiar to another way of constructing new functions from old functions. Namely, you can take the composition of two functions. Of course, we have not dealt with it in detail in linear algebra, but you are all familiar with this idea or concept. And we are going to use this now. Namely, if we have a linear map L1 from U to V and another linear map L2 from V to W, then we can take the composition of these two maps. Namely, we can consider the linear map L2 composed with L1. A natural question to ask would be, what is the matrix representation of this linear map? More precisely, can we write this as a function of the matrix representation of L1 and the matrix representation of L2? We know that L2 composed with L1 is completely determined by L1 and L2. And L1 is completely determined by M of L1 and L2 is completely determined by M of L2. Therefore, we know that the matrix of L2 composed with L1 should be determined by the matrix of L1 and the matrix of L2. However, we do not know how this can be expressed. Therefore, we will define this to be the product of these two matrices, namely M of L2 into M of L1. However, we don't know what this product is. So we are defining M of L2 into M of L1 to be the matrix of L2 composed with L1. That's how we are defining. Let us see what this translates to in the language of matrices. For simplicity, we might assume that U is RL, V is Rm, and W is Rn. Further, let M of L1 be A11, A21, etc. up to AM1, A12, A22, etc. up to AM2, and so on up to A1L, A2L, etc. up to AML. Similarly, let M of L2 be B11, B21, etc. up to Bn1, and so on up to B1m, etc. up to Bnm. Given these two matrices, we want to understand what is M of L2 into M of L1. And we define this to be equal to the matrix representation of L2 composed with L1. Therefore, we need to understand the matrix representation of L2 composed with L1. We know that the jth column of this matrix is equal to the image of Ej under the map L2 composed with L1. Therefore, to find the column, we will first evaluate L1 of Ej. L1 of Ej is the jth column of the matrix M of L1, and that is equal to A1j, A2j, etc. up to Amj, which can also be written as summation k going from 1 to m of Akj into Ek. Therefore, by the linearity of L2, L2 of L1 of Ej is equal to summation k going from 1 to m Akj into L2 of Ek. Once again, we know that L2 of Ek is the kth column of M of L2. And thus we can simplify this further. Therefore, we can see that L2 of Ek is equal to summation I going from 1 to n of Bik of Ei. And this gives us L2 of L1 of Ej. Further, we can rearrange this to find the coefficient of an arbitrary vector Ei. We can notice that the coefficient of Ei is equal to summation k going from 1 to m of Bik into Akj. Thus, this is the entry in the ith row and jth column. Therefore, the matrix of L2 composed with L1 is a matrix whose ijth entry is equal to summation k going from 1 to m Bik Akj. And we already saw that m of L2 into m of L1 is equal to m of L2 composed with L1. Therefore, we now know what is the matrix M of L2 into M of L1. We further know that given any M cross L matrix A1, there exists a linear map L1 from RL to Rm such that M of L1 is equal to A1. Similarly, given an n cross p matrix, there exists a linear map L2 from Rp to Rn such that M of L2 is equal to A2. Therefore, we will be able to compute A2 into A1 if we can compose the two maps L2 and L1. But notice that we can compose the two maps L2 and L1 if and only if Rm is equal to Rp. In other words, M is equal to P. Therefore, we can multiply an n cross P matrix with an M cross L matrix if and only if P is equal to M. And if P is equal to M, then A2 into A1 is equal to the matrix representation of L2 composed with L1. I hope the idea of multiplication of two matrices is now very clear to you. Now that we have understood matrix multiplication, we can use matrix multiplication to completely describe linear maps. First, notice that any vector in Rn, let's say b1, b2, etc. up to bn, can be treated as an n cross 1 matrix, namely the matrix b1, b2, etc. up to bn. Notice that this gives an isomorphism from Rn to mat of n, 1. Therefore, if we have a linear transformation L from Rn to Rm, then as the matrix of the linear transformation L is an m cross n matrix, I can multiply m of L into m of v for any vector v in Rn. And the interesting thing is that this is equal to the matrix representation of L of v. This is a simple verification and therefore I am leaving the proof of this fact as a homework. Moreover, in some sense, you should think of this concept or this idea as the motivation behind many of the choices that we made in our path so far. For instance, when we constructed the matrix of a linear map, we said that L of Ek forms the kth column of the matrix. We could have taken it to be the kth row. All we need is that the various choices we make is consistent enough to enable us to view the action of a linear map as matrix multiplication. It's a good exercise to think how you can do it with other possibilities. And I leave it up to you. Now recall that as soon as we fixed a basis of a finite dimensional vector space, then it is naturally isomorphic to a Euclidean space. And it was using this isomorphism that we constructed a matrix representation of a linear map between two arbitrary finite dimensional vector spaces. Therefore, if we fix a basis u1 to ul of u and v1 to vm of v, then we can find a matrix representation of L1 with respect to these two bases. Similarly, if we fix a basis v1 to vm of v and w1 to wn of w, then we can find the matrix representation of L2 with respect to these two bases. Further, we can look at the map L2 composed with L1 and the matrix representation of this map if we take the two bases that we already described of u and w. Then the matrices has the property that the matrix of L2 composed with L1 is equal to the matrix of L2 into matrix of L1. Further, we know that given any vector v in the vector space V, we can write V as a linear combination of the vectors v1 to vm. In other words, I can write this as summation I going from 1 to m of bi into vi. And we can associate the m cross 1 matrix b1, b2, etc. up to bm. This matrix would be called M of V, V1, V2, etc. up to Vm. Notice that this matrix depended on the choice of the basis. Further, we can show that the matrix of L2 of V is equal to the matrix of L2 for the choice of basis v1, v2, etc. up to vm and w1, w2, etc. up to wn into the matrix of the vector v for the choice of basis v1, v2, etc. up to vm.